Hi there, my name is Alexis Eykel, and I am going to go over how to submit a request for tenancy approval. So thank you so much for being one of our housing provider partners. If you're watching this, odds are you are one of our current housing provider partners, and we just want you to be able to submit request for tenancy approvals the best you can, so we can get the inspections ordered, and we can get folks into housing and get you guys paid as soon as possible. So the process is we issue our clients a voucher. They locate an acceptable unit, and at that time, you will go ahead and screen the client. And if they're approved for the unit, our clients will give you a request for tenancy approval packet. And then you're going to go ahead and complete the request for tenancy approval packet, and I'll start calling that a RAFTA. And we need those completed 100%. If any information is missing, it will hold up the paperwork, which will hold up our inspections. And our inspection team is really great, and it usually takes them 5 business days or less to get those inspections scheduled with owners when those RAFTAs are completed correctly. If it's not completed correctly, it can hold the inspection process up for a really long time. So the unit must be rent ready, and then our inspectors will inspect the unit after that request for tenancy approval packet has been submitted. Once the unit passes inspection, you can go ahead and sign that lease agreement with the client. You'll go send that back to the housing specialist that is working with our client. And then we will send you a housing assistance payment contract. And once that HAP contract is signed, then we will send you payment on the next check run. Please do not sign a lease agreement until the inspection has passed for that unit. And the total time can take about 45 days. And again, we try to get this process done as soon as possible because we want to get you guys paid and get our clients moved into the unit. So common issues that I run across are housing providers might not put the correct owner's name in the housing provider contact form, which we will go over later. Sometimes people who are submitting the form will put their name where the legal owner's name goes. The W-9 is not filled out correctly. Maybe the W-9 for the person who's listed doesn't match the tax ID number that is given. The property management company, if we have a property management company that will receive the housing assistance payment on behalf of the owner, they may not be submitting their W-9, and we need the property management company's W-9. The request for tenancy approval form might be missing the unit address. So we need to know the unit that our client is going to be renting for multiple reasons. It helps our inspectors, schedule that inspection and know which unit they're going to. It helps our housing specialists connect that unit with the owner account that we have in our system. And maybe the utility responsibility form's not completely filled out either. So again, we need the submitter's name, person filling the form out. We need the legal owner of the rental property's name, their phone number, email. We need the unit address. We need the number of bedrooms at the property, number of bathrooms. And again, that helps our inspectors get ready for that inspection. We do need the complete request for tenancy approval packet, the legal owner's tax ID number, the legal owner's W-9. We need their primary address on the W-9. We need proof of ownership. So we need to be able to prove that whoever's listed on that W-9 owns the property. We need a property management agreement if you have a property manager who will be receiving housing assistance payment on the owner's behalf. And we need the property manager's W-9. And we need to know what payment type you guys want, like if you want a check or if you want electronic deposits. So here's the first page of the request for tenancy approval. It really goes over what a request for tenancy approval is, and it really helps us start our inspection process. We only accept these online through our housing provider contact form. That information goes into a system that simultaneously helps us get those inspections ordered and helps us process the owner account so we can start sending payment out. And then it goes over what the inspection is, what happens if a unit fails, right? What happens when the unit passes, and does THA need a copy of the lease? What is a housing assistance payment contract? Does THA pay the deposit? And we do not pay deposits. We only pay our housing assistance payment to either the owner or the property manager. And then it talks about when you guys will be paid, right? And so I cannot stress this enough. If this form is completely filled out, we can connect this to the owner account in our system, and this helps us streamline the process so we can get those payments out. Again, we need all pages of the RAFTA packet with the voucher holder's signature. If the voucher holder's signature is not on here, if the owner's signature is not on here, we cannot process this. We need the W-9 for the legal owner of the property management agreement, and W-9 for the property manager if we're paying anyone other than the owner. We need proof of ownership and the direct deposit enrollment form, which is all online. If you have any questions, it has our customer care team's email address here as well. So this is page 1 for the RAFTA, right? So it has Tacoma Housing Authority on section 1, that we're the public housing authority. We need the address of the unit in section 2. Again, if there's no address listed there, we don't know what unit to inspect, and it will hold this RAFTA up. We need the requested lease start date, so our inspectors know when they need to get that inspection scheduled, right? We need to know how many bedrooms, the year the property was constructed, the rent amount, security deposit amount, date the unit is available for inspection. We need to know what type of structure the property is. It is a single family home. Is it a semi-detached, like a duplex attached on one side, a row house, townhouse? Is it a low-rise apartment building, 4 stories or fewer? If it's a high-rise apartment building, you'll select that option. If it's a mobile home or manufactured home, you'll select that option. And really, section 10 is for subsidized properties. So if you are an individual owner, you most likely won't need to fill one of these out. If you're a tax credit property or another subsidized property, then you would know which one of these you need to fill out. So one of the biggest issues we run into is for utilities and appliances, right? So we need to know what type of fuel you guys, what our clients are going to have. Is it natural gas, bottled gas, electric, heat pump, oil, or other for the heating? And we need to know who's going to be paying that. Is the tenant going to be paying that? If so, you mark T. If the owner is paying this, then you will put the O, you'll put O, 0, O here. And so we just really need this form completely filled out in order for us to process this. So if you have any comparable units at the same property, you will fill this section out. It's the unit comps. So we need the address and unit number, date rented, and the rental amount. And this helps us determine rent reasonableness. If you only have like one property, you don't have to worry about filling this out. This is mainly if you have multiple units. And then we also need one of these selections marked, right? So if the property was built before January 1st, 1978, have you given a lead-based paint disclosure? If it's built after that, that doesn't apply. And so please mark one of these options here about lead-based paint. And then we're acknowledging that Tacoma Housing Authority has not screened the family's behavior or suitability for the tenancy. That is the owner's responsibility. And the owner's lease must include word for word all provisions of the HUD tenancy addendum. And then the PHA, which is Tacoma Housing Authority, will arrange for that inspection of the unit. We need the owner's information here. So, or the representative, right? So if you have a property management company, they are going to fill the section out under owner information, and we need this completely filled out. And again, we cannot process this without the tenant's information here. So we really need that filled out. Shared housing. So if you are renting out individual rooms in a home where there's a shared kitchen or shared bathrooms, you would fill this out. If not, you do not need to fill this form out. We do need this filled out. It's our smoke detector carbon monoxide certification. So please completely fill this out. Disclosure of information on lead-based paint. We need you to fill this out as well and completely sign it. So, and that is it for my presentation. And so what I'm going to do next is go through how to complete a request for tenancy approval online. So I'm going to go to tacomahousing.org, click on landlords, landlord forms, housing provider contact form. Okay, so this is our housing provider contact form, and today I'm just going to talk to you about the RAPTA submission. So you're going to click RAPTA submission. Submitter's name is Alexis. I'm going to be filling this out. Alexis, Eykel. So the legal owner or landlord's name. Today I'm going to use our main offices as a general sample, right? So I'm going to say Tacoma Housing Authority is the legal owner of the property's name. It is not me. It's Tacoma Housing Authority owns the property for today's training purposes. Our phone number is 207-4440. And I'm going to put my email address here. Unit address. I'm going to say the unit address is our office building, but for training purposes, I'm going to say it's unit number 110. Unit number 110 has 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And I'm going to attach this request for tenancy approval packet that I pre-filled out, right? So it's super easy. When the clients give you the packet, you can just fill it out by hand, scan it. And then I'm going to go to my desktop here. I'm going to upload this here, and it's pretty easy. So I've just attached the whole RAPTA packet that I filled out. And then for this, I'm going to come up with a social security number. And I filled out the W-9 in the RAPTA packet. So here I'm going to attach the RAPTA packet one more time because that W-9 is already filled out and a part of this packet. But if you don't have a W-9 handy, you can click on this link right here that says legal owner's W-9, and it gives you a link to the IRS W-9 form. So the primary address, I'm going to put our office address here again, because this is where the 1099 will need to be mailed at the end of the year, right, for the legal owner. And I'm not going to use a fax number today, but so proof of ownership, what I'm going to do here is I don't have proof of ownership handy. So I'm going to click on this link that takes me directly to the tax assessor website. And I'm going to type in our property address and search. Okay, so I found our address. As you see, the taxpayer name is Tacoma Housing Authority. Mailing address 902 South L Street. And so I'm then I'm gonna upload this as proof of ownership. It's super easy to type in your address so you can prove ownership. And so I just found ownership. I'm going to attach it to this submission, right? Primary address, proof of ownership. Do you have a property management company or agent today? I'm going to keep it simple and say no. Pay mailing address. I'm going to say our mailing address, 902 South L Street. Tacoma, Washington 98405, payee email. For today's purposes, as an example, I'm going to just have my email address. Tenants related to this request. It's super important that we know which tenant this RAFTA is being submitted for, right? So I'm going to say test, just because I don't want to have housing specialists think they need to process this. Payment type requested, we prefer direct deposit, right? And so that direct deposit enrollment form I mentioned earlier, you can add all of that information here. So the bank account owner, so in this case, Tacoma Housing Authority is the legal owner of the property. Tacoma Housing Authority will receive payments, right? So we're going to write Tacoma Housing Authority here. If a property manager or somebody other than the owner is going to be receiving payment and they own the bank account, you're going to need to go back up and select yes, third party property manager. If the property management company receives HAP, housing assistance payment, you'll fill this part out. But again, for today, we're going to just say no. Bank account owner, we're going to put Tacoma Housing Authority. I'm going to put a bunch of zeros here because it's a test. So we're going to say current bank name, test. But you're going to want to put your bank name here if you choose direct deposit, your routing number, bank account number. Is this checking or savings? For this example today, I'm going to say checking account. And then I'm going to authorize Tacoma Housing Authority to initiate credit entries into the account designated. Mind you, somebody from our finance department, either Bull, Caitlin, Thomas, or Daniela, they're going to call to verify your bank account information before making any deposits. And so I'm going to go ahead and click this, yes, because I'm going to give THA authorization. If you have any additional comments, go ahead and add them here. The certification of accuracy and truth, it's really important that you guys read this and fill this out as well. Basically, you're agreeing that you're certifying all information on this form is true and correct. You agree to be bound and comply with housing assistance payment contract. You authorize Tacoma Housing Authority to issue payments according to the information shown above. By signing below, you certify that you're not the parent, child, grandparent, child, sister, or brother of any member of the family, unless Tacoma Housing Authority has determined and has notified the owner and family of such determination. That approving leasing of the unit, notwithstanding such relationship, would provide reasonable accommodation for a family member who is a person with disabilities. And then you're going to give your digital signature here. And then you're going to submit the form and it's going to go through, right? But say we left something out, like, so say you didn't put your email address here. We're going to leave that out and then it's going to kick us out. It's not going to let us submit the form. So it'll tell you which field needs to be filled out. And really, trust me, we changed our form. We narrowed down almost like a 16-page form into an online form to try to make this easier for you guys. Because again, we cannot serve our clients without your partnerships. And so we are always looking for ways to simplify the request for tenancy approval submissions. If you guys have any feedback about how we can make this a little bit easier, please just let us know. And you're always more than welcome to contact me if you have any questions about how to submit the request for tenancy approval packet. Okay.